Hello and welcome back to the Beer Dog Reviews. I've got a special brewery focus video for you today, and the brewery in question, one of my favourite breweries, Lord's Brewing up in Huddersfield. So I ordered a box. I knew that they had 3 new-ish beers out, so I thought, oh, I might as well get some of those, hadn't I? So I got 4 each of the 3 different beers, and they are Moggie Rye Pale. There's that one there. That one comes in at 3.6%. Then we have Spur Ultra Pale. There's that one. Now obviously I have had various incarnations of this beer. This is the latest version, if you like. That looks good. I'm loving the new artwork. And then the other beer is High Roller Brut IPA. And there's that one. Looks like the inside of a Rolls Royce there. Looks absolutely fantastic. So, as part of this video I'll be going through all 3 of the beers and seeing just what they're like. So I think the first one I'm going to look at is, as I've had previous incarnations, bear with me one second. Turn my speakers off, they're making a bit of a buzzing sound. Like I say, as I've had various incarnations of this beer, we're going to look at the Spur first. So, on the label there, got a cowboy, possibly in a rodeo there, on a lovely, I can't tell if it's a mare or a stallion, but a lovely bay horse. There we go. Obviously Spur, Spurs, etc. So they are bottle conditioned, so just to be on the safe side, whilst I open the beer, I'm going to pop me handy tea towel on the side of the desk there. Yep, lively as hell. That's, give it a minute whilst it settles down. Oh, didn't quite soak everything up. That's spilled out onto the floor, so I'll mop that up in a minute as well. Just soak it in. Worst thing is you end up missing some of the beer, don't you? Right, got me Lord's glass ready. Let's get it in. There we go. So give it a good old pour. Don't want to give it too vigorous a pour because obviously being bottle conditioned, there's going to be plenty of sediment. I do want some of that yeasty goodness in there, but not too much. Right, let's just drop the tea towel on the floor and mop that last bit up. That was a lot livelier than I thought it was going to be. Right, so let's have a look at the beer. So you've got a pale gold beer with a single finger, a very fluffy, clean white head. It's got obviously good carbonation, very slightly hazy, as often a lot of Lord's beers are because they do use vegan fining, so it does leave it slightly hazy, but there's nothing wrong with a hazy beer. Looks rather good, doesn't it? It's almost a glistening gold. I do like that. Right, let's have a look at it. Bit of citrus on the nose. Touch of floral. Certainly smells fresh. Let's have a look at the date on this one. So best before December this year. Not quite sure what the life on a bottle is, but it does still smell very fresh. Right, give it a taste. Oh, it's so smooth. Touch of lemon in there. Touch of satsuma. then you get this piney, really resinous character coming in, but it's not heavy. It's very mild, it's very gentle. Just gives you that nice bitter back edge. I do have to say my favourite incarnation of Silver Spur was the original bottle. The can was very good. This is also very good, but the first bottle, I must have had that, well, must be nearly 3 years ago now, in the very early days of my channel. That was absolutely delicious. I'm not saying this isn't. It is very delicious. It's ridiculously enjoyable. At 4.6%, it's a good sessionable beer. Well, certainly a drinkable beer. So smooth. You can feel the carbonation, but it's not intrusive as far as carbonation goes. You know, some beers you get, all you can feel is just that hissing fizz on your palate. Whereas this, it's literally just opening up the flavours a bit. Really dry on the back end, which, you know, it's a good way to have a beer because it's just going to make you want to keep going and enjoy a little bit more every time. That citrus on the front, it's nice and sharp. The floral is really smooth, so it just levels out that palate before the bitterness comes in. The piney resinous character, it's not too heavy. It's not a West Coast, let's be honest. Yeah, it's just a nice, smooth, easy drinking pale. You can't really go wrong, can you? An absolutely fantastic beer. I mean, I could easily get through, well, a good few of these. Absolutely delicious. You can still feel the bitterness at the back end there, long after you've got rid of that mouthful of beer. But it's not overbearing. It's a nice smooth rolling bitterness, which is certainly in a paler beer is absolutely fantastic. Excuse Tyrion if you can hear him. I think he's just heard somebody walking past. Well, I'm going to really enjoy this one before I get on to the next one. So, cheers to you all, and see you in video time very shortly for the next one on this Lord's Brewing special focus. So here we are again, and this time we're going to be looking at the Rye Pale Ale, which is called Moggie Rye Pale Ale. There it is. So you've got a Morris Aeromax right there on the front of the bottle there. It's a fantastic looking car, isn't it? There's no denying it. Let's have a look at it. So, not all Moggies are miners. Some are hand built and beautifully crafted like this stunning Aeromax. So, let's have a look at it. So we've got barley, wheat and rye as the malt base. Obviously being a rye pale. Not a lot of other info on the bottle. Obviously a nice bit of text on there, which I'm not going to go into. Absolutely stunning label design, as always. Now, bottle conditioned beer, tea towel at the ready, just in case. I have to admit, rye isn't one of my favourite grains to have in a beer. But that's just me. This one's not too lively, thankfully. Let's get it into the glass. Again, gentle pour. I want to get a first look at it without any sediment, or not too much. Right. Here we have it. So, it's a very deep colour, isn't it? It's verging on an amber, but it's still just about in the gold territory. Got, well, a finger and a half there. Very fluffy head. It's a nice clean white. Gentle carbonation rising through the glass there. Looks good. On the aroma, let me just turn that off for a second. There's a very sweet malt coming in. Just trying to place it. It's like a golden ale, but better, if you know what I mean. It's got that slight sweetness about it. It's not quite honey, but there is something in there. It smells wonderful. Let's have a look. It is, so 3.6, that's a good sessionable ABV. So, yep, it's very sweet. I mean, that is so smooth. It's traditional without being bland. You know, it's got all the good parts of a good traditional beer, with none of the boring holy woolen jumpers and big beards and pipes. Easy drinking, low on the bitterness, despite being slightly on the darker side. I think that's more from the malt base than anything. I would say that's a very good summer beer. But then the sweetness lends itself to autumn as well. A beer for all seasons. You know, something smooth, easy drinking. You could enjoy it all year round. Yeah, I think we've got that there. You are picking up that sort of grainy flavour, and you know that's coming from the rye. Really, it is a tough grain, let's be honest. But when it's done right, like it is here, fantastic. It's balanced, it's rounded, very smooth. It's good malt base to it. It's not too hoppy, which on a beer like this you don't want it too hoppy, do you? There's a very slight floral character in there, but it is very slight. You know, it's just wafting past a hedgerow, that sort of, you just get the essence. And on that sort of beer, that's what you want. That sweetness develops nicely, and it has got a honey sweetness about it without having honey in the beer. It's not a honeyed beer, but it's got that sticky sweetness which is really enjoyable. So that almost red character, you know, it's not quite a red ale. There's so much going on. It could easily be a red ale, a brown ale, a IPA, a pale. It's got little bits of everything, and it balances out to a really enjoyable beer, which, let's be honest, that's all we want, isn't it? A really good, easy drinking beer that you can kick back and relax with. Oh, I need to be careful with this one because I'll have nothing left of the picture, will I? That's how easy drinking it is. I know in the past I've banged on about Lord's being my favourite brewery, and they are, but this is, for somebody who loves a traditional beer like I do, this is fantastic. So before I drain the whole lot off, I better pause the old video off and get a photo, but I will see you in a few video minutes for the last one on this little brewery focus on Lord's Brewing. So, see you in a moment. And so we move on to the third and unfortunately final beer in this Lord's Brewing focus. So, what we have now, if you haven't already guessed, is High Roller Brut IPA. I don't think I've had a Brut IPA yet. Just trying to think of different slightly odd beers I've had. No, I don't think I have. Obviously, being a Brut IPA, I'm guessing there's going to be some champagne yeast in there, so it might be quite lively. Let's have a little look. So the prosy text there, nothing I need to look at right now. Barley, wheat, hops and yeast. So this one comes in at 5%. Look on the label there, you've definitely got the inside of a Rolls Royce, haven't you? Looking at it, might be a Phantom. Not quite sure. I'm sure John could tell me, but it does look like the inside of a Phantom there. Anyway, being a Brut IPA, I'm guessing it's going to be a bit lively. So I've got my tea towel on the desk ready for when I open it, and hopefully I don't lose too much of a beer. So get it open and get the glass ready straight away. So, it worked. I didn't lose any beer, but it has developed an ice cream head. That's going to take a couple of minutes to die down. So I can get rid of the old, by now it is a bit beery, tea towel. It's definitely time to pop that one in the wash and change it over. So, whilst the head dies down, let's have a look at the colour. It's very dark. It's amber into chestnut beer, I would say. Obviously very well carbonated. I think that goes without saying. On the aroma, it's very vinous. You can smell your traditional IPA sort of aromas, but you can also smell sparkling wine. It's in there, there's no denying it. I think we can top it off. Right. So, yep, definitely a chestnutty beer with amber bleed through right at the base there. Well, very, very slightly off-white head. I don't think you can pick it up on the camera, but it is there. And yeah, it does look quite white on the camera if I look in the screen there, but ever so slightly off-white. Like I say, you're getting floral and pininess, but you're also getting that vinous sparkling wine aroma or character? A little bit of both. Certainly smells interesting. Oh, there's only one thing to do. Wow, that is it's different in a good way. I'll get to that in a minute. There's an almost effervescent carbonation there. You know, it sort of pops on your palate. You can pick up the malt, slight floral character, there's a bit of pine in there. But then you get this really dry, unusual character coming in. And I know that character. That's a champagne character coming in. A Prosecco. Yeah, it's that sparkling effervescence that it fills the nostrils, it fills the mouth, it pops. This is something special. You can drink it just as a normal everyday beer if you wanted to, but imagine you're having a function and at some point there's going to be a toast or a climax, if you like, where people would drink your favourite sparkling wine, be that a champagne, a Prosecco, a cava, whatever. You're always going to have people that don't drink wine, you know, for whatever reason. But they may be beer drinkers. You know what? That's the one for them. You're getting that champagne character, but it's also malty and bitter. You've got the beer characters in there. It's not heavily bittered, don't get me wrong. There's a good sweetness in there. And most of that is from the malt, but there's a good deal coming from that yeast. I mean, John and team, correct me if I'm wrong, there's definitely champagne yeast in there, isn't there? It smells fantastic, it tastes fantastic, it tastes decadent, it's voluptuous. It hasn't got a thick heavy body, which normally I'd use a term like voluptuous for, but it's velvety, it's smooth, it pops and fizzes. It's fantastic. I mean, I have no other words for it. That's how good it is. You know, you look at it and you say, oh, dark beer, that's going to be a bit malty and boring. No, not a chance of it. This it is fantastic. There's no other word. Absolutely wonderful. Wow. Well, I'm certainly going to enjoy this one. I mean, every time I get a case from Lords, I think, wow, they can't all be fantastic. And invariably, they are. There's a reason that they are my favourite brewery. That is literally dotting the I's and crossing the T's. That is It's a celebration beer. I could happily have that as my toasting drink at a formal event rather than a bit of boring old dry white wine with a bit of carbonation in it. And that's coming from a wine lover as well. Absolutely wonderful. Well, cheers to that one. Don't forget to always like, comment and subscribe down there. Got to get it in, haven't I? Now, I will obviously put the website for Law's Brewing right down there in the description box. I always do when I do these brewery focus videos. I know they change up what's on the website every so often, as they brew new beers and whatnot. I have to say, I'm not very good at keeping up with getting the beers in time when they are newly released, but hopefully when I post this video, all of these free beers are still on the website, so do check them out. Do pick up some of their beers. They are always fantastic. I know some people don't like certain beers. You know, I haven't had a bad beer from them. So, on that note, cheers to you all, and until next time, very happy drinking.